What's up, guys? This is MugenLord here, and it appears that Capcom is once again going to attempt another live-action Street Fighter film. So before we dive into the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we live in an interesting timeline right now, because I never thought that video game movies will be the new fad or the new revenue stream for Hollywood. Is for the fact is that no matter how many times studios try to attempt to adapt a video game into a movie, it always seemed to fail. And not because it's impossible, it's for the fact is that developers or Hollywood execs and Hollywood producers doesn't really take the video game medium as serious as any other medium that's out in entertainment. They more so see it as a cash grab. Hey, as long as it has the video game titles on it and some familiar scenes and characters or whatever, you know, that'll be good enough. And they've just been failing time after time after time. There's not really many video game based movies, except for me, in my personal opinion. I really enjoyed the first Mortal Kombat movie. Still number one, and I do have a guilty pleasure for the Van Damme Street Fighter film. Love the hell out of it. Got both of those on DVD and VHS as well. But the gears begin to shift, especially when Detective Pikachu had released, and it was essentially fun. Me and my daughter and the rest of my other family members, we all went out to go see that movie, and I really enjoyed it for what it was. Was it the Pokemon movie that everybody essentially wanted? No, but it did have the aesthetics of Pokemon that people was really curious to see how this world played out. But what really turned the gears up was the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. After the disaster of that ugly looking Sonic and the backlash that the studio from Paramount had received, decided to go back into the drawing board, which I still believe they already had that Sonic 3D Sonic model already rigged up and ready anyway. But I digress. But the Sonic the Hedgehog movie really proved the Hollywood execs wrong, and fans went out and supported it. And then of course Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was even more of a success. And then now we have Nintendo and the Super Mario Brothers movie, which I reviewed as well. You can go check that out in the description or in the card at the top. But Nintendo and the studio came together, and they had created a film that the fans went out and loved, and it pretty much crapped all over these Hollywood execs, studios, and it crapped over these journalists, these movie journalists that pretty much tried to destroy this movie, but the fans said otherwise. And now the Mario movie is essentially at over $1 billion. So now we had an interesting position, is because now we have Hollywood looking over at other potential prospects when it comes to adapting other game properties. For the simple fact is, at one point superheroes used to be the thing that everyone is trying to adapt in Hollywood. And now, after pretty much the failures that DC has been doing with their studios, and now Marvel has just been dropping the ball and just been destroying the the MCU, and it's just all this woke nonsense that's been going on with a lot of their products in Disney, and also with the MCU and Marvel in general. They have dropped the ball, so they haven't really been seeing great returns recently in the box office. And Mario proved that if you create a film for the fans will come out and support it in droves. That they can't use the pandemic as an excuse to why they're not making money, is because Mario proved that if you just make a great film, people will go out and support it. So now you look at Hollywood, you look at the gaming industry, and it's funny how things have shifted, because gaming industry is much bigger than Hollywood, makes way more money, billions of dollars more than Hollywood. So we have gotten to the point where where gaming studios don't need Hollywood need gaming studios, because of the massive amount of money that they make. And Hollywood needs that gaming demographic. The gaming industry doesn't need the Hollywood demographic at all. So now they have the leverage, the gaming studios, and more so Nintendo specifically. And the reason why Mario was successful was for the simple fact is that Mario and Nintendo Nintendo had put their hands in the development for this film, and in fact, I believe they invested $100 million of their own money into this movie. So now they had more control over how they want their movies to be represented, because they're very protective over their IP. So now let's move over to Street Fighter, of course, what this video is about. When it comes to the Street Fighter movie, we have some interesting takes on this, some interesting developments that's going on with the Street Fighter film. Is because Capcom has reported that they are in fact helping with the production. They are having hands-on when it comes to this Street Fighter film. So it looks like that Legendary Studios has acquired both TV and movie rights to the Street Fighter IP when it comes to adapting it into live action. Now, we don't have any details of how they're going to approach this, what the synopsis of the story is just yet, because this movie's going to be way off down the line. This is just an early announcement, so they haven't begun any type of production or anything. They just signed the ink on it, so the ink is still fresh on this deal. But they have movie and TV rights, meaning that could we see a potential Street Fighter type of universe live action wise, where we get some movies and we also get some streaming type series that revolves around certain particular characters, or ways to weave in certain plot points and lore and narrative to pretty much connect the movies together. We just wanted to wait and see, but I see this as interesting is because Capcom is putting their hands into it. Capcom is going to help with the development of it, and we've seen the same thing with the Last of Us television series. Neil Druckmann, and I really can't stand that guy, but the fact is that he has some hands in that, and people like it. People love the series. So I think what's going on is a lot of these developers and a lot of these game studios want their properties to be protected, and they want to see it presented in a way that brings in the fans to recognize it, because the industry became so big, it doesn't need to pull in casuals or people who don't know anything about the genre when their fan base is bigger than Hollywood itself. So it'd be interesting to see what Capcom is going to do. You already got rumors that Disney is supposed to be making a Mega Man movie. So the gears are already turning about how they're going to be working on video games movies moving forward. But I think in order for it to be successful, we definitely going to need these game studios to help with the development of it, because of how Western studios and their ideologies be pumping into these IPs and just be ruining them. So I think it makes sense to have these studios, especially these Japanese studios, to protect their IP altogether. But I'm interested to see where they're going to go with this. Will it focus on Ryu first, or will it focus on Guile, or will it focus on Chun-Li, since Chun-Li story is really, I guess you say, important, because that really introduced Bison, because Bison pretty much killed her father. Will they go with that? But then again, Legends of Chun-Li failed, so I don't think they probably want to go with a Chun-Li movie right first. They'll probably just do Ryu and Ken, and probably break off or explain something, or a build up to Akuma or Goki or something like that. We'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty interested to see where it's going to go, and I'm more so interested to see what the cast is going to be like. Hopefully the costumes is legit. It doesn't look like fake ass cosplay and stuff like that. So I can't wait to see where this is going to go, and let's just make a competent film. Even though the new Mortal Kombat film looked interesting visual wise, I didn't really hear a lot of good things about it, because the liberties that they took, and a lot of the things that they changed around, and it pretty much ruined what Mortal Kombat is. So I haven't really bothered to watch it, but I'm definitely looking forward to see what they do with the Street Fighter. So that wraps up this video. I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think about this new live action Street Fighter movie that's going to be in the works, that's going to be produced by Legendary Studios with the cooperation of Capcom? Definitely let me know. Are you looking forward to it? What would you like the story to be about? What focus, as far as characters, would you like the focus to be on? And do you want this to be a trilogy? Would you like to see the spin off into a series? I definitely need your thoughts. So if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and also remember, it helps me out in the algorithm when you hit that notification bell and when you pretty much get involved and interact just by hitting that like button. So this is MugenLord, and I'm signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.